and I've had communion and conversation with God. We can pray to God in prayer. This is not mystic. God answers back when you're mystic. This happened to me on April 8, 2010. I fractured my neck at C2 level and bruised my brainstem. I had a death to life experience and got to go to heaven and talk to God. When I wrote Allure of the Mystic, I was targeting a specific group of people I call adult children of child abuse or mystics. These are people who've had their innocence and childhood stolen away by neglect and abuse and hold a deep longing to know God. Child abuse survivors are born special. I love the word special. It's defined in the dictionary as designed for a particular purpose. That's exactly what God did for you. He designed you on purpose even before you were born. He took me places that only He would go, and He did go there with me every step of the way. When I'm speaking of places, I'm referring to feelings and emotions. I learned and developed skills far beyond human conception. I call these animalistic survival skills. I learned from the best. I learned to hate to my core so I could learn to love to my core. I learned the depth of disgust so that I would know the depth of peace. I had hiding places that no one ever found. My favorite and most used was under a 10-foot tier of wood that I honed out to hide in. It saddens me today to think that my 5-year-old little inner child girl felt safer under that tier of wood than she did with her parents. Survivors are taught guilt and deception. We're taught to hide everything by our abusers and often rewarded to lie. We're taught to hide to avoid beatings at the convenience of the anger. We were taught fear so fiercely that it burned out our hormonal transmission system, creating physiological changes in the brain. Born into dysfunctional family system with anger and abuse, we were constantly scared, taxing our hypothalamus, or taxing our, let's see, taxing gland to excessively emit cortisol, or adrenal gland to excessively emit cortisol, the fight, flight, flee hormone. The influx of this hormone at such a young age and for long periods of time damages the entire endocrine system, mainly the hypothalamus and pineal gland. With the influx of cortisol comes constriction of the smooth muscle tone of the brain, crippling the synapses to neurotransmit melatonin and serotonin. If we are unable to neurotransmit these hormones, it will affect our mood, social behavior, appetite, digestion, sleep, memory, sexual desires, thirst, and temperature regulation. And we'll talk about the thirst and temperature regulation in a little bit. Many adult children of child abuse carry the diagnosis of bipolar with codependency issues. The symptoms are classic and easily diagnosed by the clinician. It is so foreign to me today to think that there is such a stigma with the diagnosis of bipolar. We are missing a hormone, just like a diabetic. Diabetes is viewed as a socially accepted medical issue, and bipolar is viewed as a deficit. Science tells us that we're just as smart as the normals, what I call the normals. Okay, adult children of child abuse have telling personality traits. One of the traits that held me back was giving. I gave all of myself away, just like I didn't count. And then when I did not receive the appreciation I felt was due me, or they started taking too much, I would get angry. I write in my book that I was like a serpent that came out and spewed venom all over everybody who was near, and the look in their eyes scared me the most. That's how angry I got. I have discovered that others, mere people, cannot meet my needs. I developed a miracle program that alleviates my disappointment. I do a lot for others, expecting and accepting a miracle from God. And it works every time, and I'm never disappointed in people. Negative addiction usually accompanies us special ones. Sex, food, drugs, alcohol, gambling, and I will include cortisol. This drug feeds trauma, drama, and chaos. I have embraced the fact that I will always have addictions. I changed smoking to running, chaos to peace, innocence, or guilt to innocence. Not innocence to guilt. Guilt to innocence. Okay, if you're anesthetizing your feelings with these toxins, you're not going where God wants you to go. I have deducted that if I want God to live within, I cannot fill my body with toxins that debilitate me. Another behavior is we don't like ourselves. We were taught during childhood that we only mattered if someone wanted to beat or torture us. But you do matter. You are a divine child of God. I pray with every class that you leave with the thought of just not believing of your divineness, but knowing of your divineness. Another thing we're taught was guilt. Adult children of child abuse carry guilt like a growth. We do this because we are more sensitive than the normals. I would often find myself addicted to ill-fated deeds that would create guilt in my life. I would know how to get in and out of trouble. It was like I was an artist. This was my early life. It's all I knew, trauma, drama, and chaos. Today I realize if I just don't do the ill-fated deed, I won't have to punish myself with guilt. I used to think God punished me. Not so today. I punish me. We have many positive traits too. We are giving, loving, and delightful people. Have a lot of ingenuity, intuition, and are true artists. We will spend some time on behaviors, trade bad or self-defeating behaviors and habits for more productive ones. Please take a look on Google for codependency issues and see if you don't relate deeply to most of them. The program is called Allure of the Mystic. So let's talk about mysticism. My dictionary defines a mystic as a person who has conversation and or communion with God. Me being a bona fide mystic after my death to life experience, I knew God talked to me. But down here on earth, Neil Donaldson Walsh explained it well in Conversations with God. We do not communicate by words alone. Our most common form of communication is through feeling, which is the language of the soul. In your deepest feelings, lay your deepest truth. The highest thought is that which contains the highest joy. Isn't that profound? To me, mysticism is the level that I've taught myself to achieve. Everything about me is joyful, happy, and innocent. Nothing about my life is happenstance. Everything happens for God's and my purpose. All of my needs are met, and God's will flows to me in avalanches of abundance. I feel like a divine child of God, and I hold a special rank in His master plan. Mysticism for me is just a label, so I can better understand myself. God chose adult children of child abuse for a purpose. We are preachers, teachers, and healers. God wants you for a purpose, and He wants nothing more than to get you there now. I promise you happiness and joy. Happiness is easy to obtain, and everybody wants it, but it's hard to hold on to. How do you get to happiness? For me, it's a behavior. Happiness is a behavior. A Harvard professor, Sean Acor, was on Oprah, and he taught the most popular class at this university. An astonishing 86% of the student body took his class, and it was called the happiness class. Mr. Acor explains that happy people typically possess 5 traits and habits. They meditate, they eat right, get good sleep, have a gratitude program, and have a routine exercise program. Allure the Mystic teaches all 5 traits and habits. We will delve into these highly positive traits and investigate how each one might be initiated into your life. Allure the Mystic is a program that is designed to be childlike in nature. I wrote the program to dedicate a lot of time on doing inner child work and going back and retrieving this most rewarding relationship. The inner child concept was brought to light in the 60s by John Bradshaw's writings on codependency. I coined the inner child as being a reflective connection between your little self and your big self. My little self is my being, my core values. It's everything I was and learned during childhood. For most of us, this was hate, anger, and abuse and torment. My big self is who I am now. The Inner Child program is designed to get you to see yourself as the innocent, beautiful little girl or boy that hungered for love and acceptance. I'm going to teach you an energy map. It's fun and easy to build your aura. That's what we're going to do. Building your aura. Okay, the 2 energies that I'm going to be discussing is direct current energy and alternating current energy, or ADER, commonly known as ACDC. Direct current can be portrayed as looking like this, constant, and each one has to be a part of it. Constant, hotter, faster, deeper energy. Okay. Alternating current can be portrayed as looking like this. The positive waits for another positive energy, pushes it into the negative. It's slower, smoother, less irritating. Okay, now we will relate this theory to our body. We have 100 trillion cells in our body. Each one of those cells are filled with energy, saturated with energy, oxygen, ATP. Each cell holds approximately 4.7 watts of energy. But if you multiply that by 100 trillion, we have a lot of voltage going on in our body. I think out of expertise the concept that we can light a 100-watt light bulb all day long. We put up 100 watts of energy. I have found to get energy, I have to make it. Energy gets without energy. I have developed a direct path to building more energy. A huge way I make energy is water. As adults, children of child abuse, again, our hypothalamus is damaged. We don't feel thirst, and our temperature is different than we feel. So, one of the best conductors of electricity. If I'm tired, I drink 2 glasses of water. If I'm hungry and don't know what it is, you get that feeling? It's water. Our bodies are dehydrated. If I am, what a boost, water. It's my main thing for energy is water. Another way we get energy is from our food. We get the majority of energy from the 4 forces of nature: water, wind, earth, and fire. These are all sources of positive, direct current energy. We also absorb cosmic energy. Okay, these are stars that fall to earth that break down to a frequency that our bodies can absorb And we absorb this energy through the nerve endings in our hands and our feet. You've heard of grounding. That's what we're doing when we stand on the earth for grounding. I want everybody to look at the soles of the shoes. Okay, I bet 100% of them are a rubber sole. Okay, we cannot conduct Earth's electricity through rubber. It is the worst conductor of energy. Best way to go barefoot in the park. That's the best way. Okay, when we lay around the house, the cosmic energy has to go through the roof of tin, nail, and wood. Okay, so this slows this down. It slows the energy down to a less penetrating energy. And then if you lay around the house with someone else that's laying around the house, we absorb their kinetic energy, negative kinetic energy. Getting out of the house is major. Believe it or not, when we hug, we started the hugging today. When we hug, we absorb kinetic energy, high power, direct current, kinetic energy. You will learn the difference between positive energy and negative energy and choose the one you want to absorb. How do you get to purpose? Mystics are haunted by purpose. They know they have one, they just don't know what it is. Allure the mystic is a direct path to purpose. We will write God laws and goals, and I promise these will get you closer to where you want to go and make you feel better about you. My God laws take me to innocence in the eyes of myself and God. They teach me to obedience to my God. Here are my God laws that I live by. I do not take anything that is not mine. I treat all of my brothers and sisters with an elevated amount of love and respect. I treat my body as a temple for my God's pleasure and purpose. And beside each God law, I will write the word strive, because I've yet to come to total innocence. I've been doing my God laws consciously for 8 years. They work really well for my life, and you will be encouraged to ask, when you write your God laws, you'll be encouraged to ask yourself, what do I do that makes me feel guilty? What do I do that God does not approve of? One of the things that just about drove me crazy, I worked quite a while on it, was thinking bad thoughts of others. I mean, that was not in my plan. I tried everything. I prayed to God, I screamed to God, nothing worked. And then finally, I said, I'm going to look at this, and I got really deep with it, and I figured out that I was projecting. What I felt about that other person was exactly what I was feeling about me. And so when I made it personal, it really worked out good for me. I don't think bad thoughts don't. It worked. Okay. This is the type of program that is designed to take you to the guilty, wounded soul on a path to innocence and healing. The essence of the program is innocence. We lost ours far too young, and I'm here to say God is ready to give it back to you. I do not feel that there is a fine line between guilt and innocence. I have a rule of thumb. If it feels guilty, it's guilty. Okay. Every divine child of God needs to learn chores. Chores teach me structure, routine, and responsibility. Adult children of child abuse were not taught this basic living skill. We were hiding in the woodpile. You'll design your chore program around the 5 happy traits that I talked about. Meditation, eat right, good sleep, good exercise, and a gratitude program. When you first start to do chores, we're going to do them with enthusiasm and joy. And then that's the way you will always do them. Remember, we're developing new habits. All divine children get paid for doing chores. I bet you want to know about that one. Fear and anxiety is the fiercest beast that mystics have to attack. This stems from childhood trauma and drama. When I am fearful of a person, place, or situation, I say a mantra. This is so powerful to me because I built my mantra to be powerful. Here's my mantra. My God's wealth circulates in my life. His wealth flows to me in avalanches of abundance. My needs, desires, and goals are met instantaneously, for I truly am one with God, and my God is everything. I didn't make that up. I got it from, I think, Unity. We will learn a meditation program. I am an athlete meditator. That means I've been meditating for a long time. I was taught TM style meditation in the 80s by a master meditator. She had lived in a commune for 5 years. And she and others were photographed on Time magazine sitting cross-legged on the bare wood floor, bouncing up and down. She said it would take hours of meditation by the group to create enough turbulence to cause the bouncing. Meditation is my finest home tool. I use it daily. It takes me to a oneness with God, clears my path, and I truly embrace the fact that I can control my mind for 1 hour a day. The program that I will be teaching you is a throw-off of TM. I designed the meditation program to be a little bit more user-friendly and comfortable. If you take nothing else from the program, I will feel proud of its meditation. I hope you learn the importance of taking time to still your mind. The last chapter, and one of my favorites, is charm. As a mystic, you reek of charm. You just need to harness it and bring it to life. We need to be alluring and charming to the ones that we preach, teach, and heal. Charm can be nourished with dance, music, poetry, books, and people. Fall in love with the stars, the mountains, your joy of things. These things will be contagious. I have a little story to go with this. I was at the ocean, and I went on a 2-day trip. That's all I wanted to go. And it ended up to be 7. I had no control of the situation. And I was getting kind of angry and feeling that somebody was taking advantage of me and blah, blah, blah. I sat there on the beach and I decided, by golly, I'm at the ocean and I'm going to have a good time. I get shivers when I talk about it. It was a miracle. There were 6 people around the campfire. I started having a good time and it was just like a chain reaction. It was amazing. And I do get the shivers. Charming people are youthful, attractive, able to compliment others easily, able to let others know how important they are to their purpose, fairly quiet, good listeners, able to be vulnerable and have good posture. Sarah Bernhardt, a famous philosopher, said it well. Charm is the ability to be oneself and the best of oneself at all times and under all circumstances. That's profound to me too. Okay, Allure the Mystic is a 28-day journey to the self, leading towards your godly purpose, happiness, and healing. We meet once a week for 4 weeks. It's set up for a group of 6 or so. Even doing the program by yourself works. But if you have a good group, you get to spend time with like-minded people. Who want to go to the same place that you're going. The program is all about changing behaviors that hold us back and create problems in our lives. I learned I was still hanging on to survival skills that I developed at age 5. They worked, I survived, and I thank God for them. But I got stuck on just surviving. You will not change overnight, or you may. It's your program. You get to try to win in how you change. Okay, there is no greater battle than between the one that wants to change and the one that wants to remain the same. That's profound.
Yes.
Okay, I resisted changing. You will too. It's like an old wool coat. At first it's uncomfortable, and then it feels serves its purpose. Any questions?
So, where is this program?
Well, that's something I gotta discuss with Laura and Lydia, but I decided I could do one down here. So
I'm in.
Alrighty, thank you.
I only live 2 blocks away, so.
Okay, I'll talk with Laura and Lydia. I'm ready to come down.
It will need to be in the evening if Carmen is going to participate,
Okay.
or on the weekend. Weekends are not good for you though, are they?
Evening throughout the week.
Yeah. So we'll have to pick an evening that would be good.
Abigail.
I want to do it too, and you can stay at my house whenever you need.
This is my granddaughter. She's beautiful, and then I have a grandson back there too. Okay, no question?
Well, I got so much out of what you said.
Oh, thank you.
Initially, though, I thought of Carrie because she had a near-death experience and had the same C1.
Was the C1 broken
Oh,
two
okay.
places?
She had a near death.